every third bullet is a tracer bullet. In other words, you could see it. You can see every third bullet. So the bullets was splashing. So we came from this way and went down in the trench and went over there. And they say, now you crawl. They had barbed wire, so we had to crawl under the barbed wire toward the machine gun.
Mm-hmm.
And you could see the bullets flying over there. So, and then you crawl like that, and then your rifle had to be inspected when you got up there to make sure they had no dirt in it.
Oh.
You know, when you get under, you're supposed to get out and be ready to fire your rifle. I got smart. I said, shoot, I don't know what I'll do. So I tied my rifle up with my handkerchief and put one on the chamber and one at the end. And I got on there and I was dragging my rifle like that, like I went through so fast. I forgot to tell you this. They had explosions going up all the way. They could see where you were, but you couldn't see, so you're crawling, right? You didn't know where the explosion was. But I went there so fast. They said, the guy said, Crawford, you didn't go there. I said, yeah, I sure did. Just came back. Oh no, go again. So I had to go twice. I was a little slower the second time. As soon as we got out of basic training, they had the floods down in the Mississippi River flooded, and Missouri and all the people had floods. Okay, we were engineers, right? Mm-hmm. So that meant we had to go down there and throw sandbags. So we had to drive from Illinois to Missouri and Louisiana to keep the flood from washing away everything. So we got all our gear and all that stuff. And so this guy, he was a lieutenant. He's from Boston, named Lieutenant White. So he wanted me to ride with him. He was just 20, a young guy. So we drive night and day. So he was getting kind of tired. He asked me, "Can you drive?" I said, "Yeah." So we were in a Jeep, me and him. So he said, "Okay, you drive for a while." Well, my driving was, I used to work at a car wash. Mm-hmm. And like now they had that thing to pull a car through, but they didn't have it then. You had to drive it from here to there.
One person had to drive it?
What?
One person had to drive it?
What?
The car?
A car wash.
Yeah, did one person have to drive it?
Because that's the way you can move it. So I got to drive, so it's 4 guys working at this. It's a car wash. It wasn't like the big ones they have now. So 2 guys up there and 2 guys here. We'd wash, those guys would drive the car. So to get the car from the wash section to the dry section where that couch is, you had to drive it from here to there. Well, that's the driving I had. So we'd drive from here to there, and we'd switch off to see who gets to drive. So I had never been on the street driving. So.
Did you scare him?
Huh?
Did you scare your lieutenant?
Lieutenant?
So this guy said, "You can drive?" I said, "Yeah, I can drive." Well, in the car wash, we used to shift gears, all 4 gears between here and there. So we're driving, and so it just so happened we were at the front of the convoy. They had big trucks and then Jeep, then big trucks and Jeep. So I was driving, so hey, I put my foot on the gas, and that Jeep, we were humming. We were going. Well, I didn't know that the trucks were following, trying to keep up. They were trying to keep up with me. After about a couple of hours, finally we had to stop, pull over or something. Here comes the colonel. What the hell? What are you trying to do? Kill us all back there? Because I wasn't supposed to go that fast. Well, it was fast, it was okay with me. I'd never driven on the street before. I was in a car wash.
From here to there.
That was the thing. The lieutenant had to take the blame for it, you know. So we threw a lot of sandbags down in Missouri and Louisiana, and we came back. And when we came back to camp, we were alerted to go overseas. And so that's when they lock everybody in. You couldn't go anywhere. And so we caught the train, and we went to Brooklyn. Brooklyn, Virginia. And we left Virginia. I went to Brooklyn, and so we went in the train station, and it was huge. And so we got off, and we had all this heavy pack, and had us marching we marched till the end. So we was sitting there, and we sit there, and we went to sleep, and all of a sudden, movement. I thought it was an earthquake. But we were on a barge. The barge was right in the train station, and you get there, the half of it just starts going away. So that's how they move things out of Brooklyn. So the barge took us over to Newport News, Virginia, and that's when we caught the boat to go overseas. And we were in a convoy of I think it was about 15 ships.
Where'd you go?
And about 4 destroyers. And the destroyers circled the ships, so the submarine couldn't sink them. So it took us 14 days to get to France. So when I got overseas, we got to France, Marseille, France. The colonel said, when we got ready to get off the ship, we were looking for trucks to take us wherever we're going. The colonel said, no, it's not far, we're going to hike it. We'd been on that boat for 14, you need to hike it. And we had packed everything that's possible on your back. So we started marching about 9 o'clock in the morning, and we didn't get there until about 11 that night. That's when I found out why they wanted young men in the place. Them old guys, they were in bad shape. I mean, those guys had to end up in the hospital. Anyway, so we were got there about 11, and I just went to sleep. I just had to go to sleep. I laid down with my pack on my back. I didn't want to, and went to sleep there, down on the ground. And about 2 hours it happened. We heard all this shooting, and it was and the anti-aircraft guns were shooting. What? Who? And so we were running around, and the guys said, hollering, "Mama," and "Where's the chaplain?" And and it was a reconnaissance train, a German reconnaissance plane and they were dropping flares so they could take pictures, I guess. Anyway, that scared the heck out of everybody. Oh. It lasted about 2 hours. But that's the worst 2 hours I've spent. I thought that was it. All them pictures movies I've seen with the Luftwaffe. So the next day when they finally rounded up everybody, there was 3,000 people we had in our company, in our regiment. All these guys were limping around. They had to take half of them to the hospital. They was all beat up. Some of the guys that lied about the age of 50 years old, and they couldn't cut it.